Welcome everybody. Ben. Rainey from Horror Skwaad. And here we are in the Videodrome, the best video store in the galaxy.
The only video store in the galaxy. It's
the best. And we come here every Friday and sometimes on other days, and we can find all the movies that we're looking for. This has a full selection of everything we're looking for. So tonight we were lucky enough to be part of a Sundance Film Festival viewing, and we got to go see a movie called The Blazing World.
The Blazing World.
Yeah, and I have no idea. Who's the director?
Carlson Young.
Carlson Young, who's a young but veteran actor already. She's been in like 30 things or something, and this is her directorial debut for a movie. Feature-length movie. She did a short that was in 2018 Sundance, and we watched that because it's on Amazon. You can watch it.
Also called The Blazing World.
The Blazing World short. So the film is sort of billed as a surreal dream horror film.
Yeah.
Right?
I was honestly expecting it to be more horror.
Yeah.
Or more traditional horror. It had a lot of elements from other films.
Yeah.
It had a lot more fantasy ties than I thought it would, which was really interesting.
Yeah, the loose synopsis premise is a young lady's haunted by the death of her sister, who died when they were little. And so the heroine of the film, the main person of the film, is haunted and returns home to a dysfunctional home from college, and then finds a portal to another dimension where her sister might still be alive. So it has like strange black hole dimension surreal travel.
And Udo Kier.
It has Udo Kier. So yeah, it's billed as horror, billed as fantasy. It feels more like spooky fantasy.
Yeah.
And I was getting a lot of vibes of like Pan's Labyrinth, or Labyrinth, which had a lot of Muppets in it, but had some spooky parts.
This had no Muppets.
This had no David Bowie. It had elements of Mandy and Suspiria for like coloring and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the sound design was really good.
Yeah, I think that, so two strong points, yeah, sound
Visuals.
And visuals for sure. So like the sound, what parts really grabbed you?
There were some really interesting, I'd say like just the score itself was really interesting. I think that's probably why we thought of Mandy a lot. Also the color.
Yeah. It had some definite Mandy tones, that hard electronic, it's like guitar chords and weird electronic, it kind of hits.
Yeah, it's kind of
and then sort of weird dark horn sounds and stuff, yeah.
A lot of strings.
Like, yeah.
So that was interesting, incorporating a lot of the ominous droning background sounds.
Yeah.
And then also coming in and out with the score. Kept it wasn't as much of like a music video, I feel like, that Mandy was, in a sense, where it wasn't purely just visuals.
Right.
But there wasn't, thinking about it now, there wasn't a whole lot of dialogue in the movie, except...
No, there's a lot of running around. Kind of like Suspiria, there's a lot of running in hallways. There's a lot of hallway running in this. I guess most of the dialogue was between brief bits with her mom, her crazy friends at the bar, a little bit with the drunken dad, and then Udo Kier and her had some chit-chat. But the sound was really well thought out. I don't know, and when we saw the film, the owner of the theater, the Plaza Theatre here in Atlanta, came out and made sure to comment about the sound aspect of the film. Was very intense and surrounding, and he really thought it was an important part of the film, and it was very key. It was very dense with layered sounds. And I think we saw Color Out of Space there, and that had intense sounds too. You get such a more rich experience in those kind of well-sounding theaters.
Yeah.
So I was kind of glad we saw it here. But so the sound was good. There were some cool bands briefly in there, or some music.
Which we were talking about, that kind of like reminded me of the Roadhouse bar scenes from Twin Peaks. Where it's like empty Roadhouse bar and like weird.
Yeah, Twin Peaksy stuff, which you can get here at Videodrome.
Yeah, I like to spend some time watching it again. Now that I know the actual plot of the movie.
Yeah, so you can sit down and sort of study it for a minute. Yeah. And then other aspects of the film, the visuals were real intense. The colors were rich, like Suspiria and like Mandy and a lot of other kind of art films. They really layered on colors and scenes, so the whole scene's be lit red, or they like to do that complementary color kind of thing where one character is orange and the other character opposite is blue to show distance and remoteness or something. It was interesting. So the thing shot really well. And it's the coloring with whoever the colorists were, the coloring was really good. Intense colors. Seems like the choices for the colors were really nice. There's something about pink that this was in the Pepto-Bismol pink. There's some pink goo that was in the short, and in this one, it's like that color represents something to her from her childhood. I can't remember what she said. So there's like these intense pinks, there's intense greens, the pool,
the blues.
Where the sister had drowned, the blues were everywhere. There was all this warmth, like for fires and stuff. That was very interesting. So it was pleasurable to watch. And the acting was all pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't pulled out of it.
I wouldn't pull that. We've been watching a lot of really schlocky horror films lately.
Yeah.
That you can get here at Videodrome. Here's a large selection of them. Vinegar Syndrome has provided us endless amounts of sort of schlock. And so when you see these kind of B or no budget films, you really appreciate acting like this film where you're like, oh, these people act really well. This is a lot better than
Cruel Jaws.
Yeah, Cruel Jaws or Forbidden World or what was the one, Hack-O-Lantern.
Oh yeah.
Or Hobgoblins. We've really been working on the bottom of the horror industry lately.
Yeah, so this is refreshing.
Yeah, this is refreshing. Although I'd watch Hack-O-Lantern.
I would too.
It was so good. Carlson Young.
Carlson Young.
So she's the writer. She co-wrote it with the feature-length film with somebody, but she's directing and starring in the film, which I think must be phenomenally hard.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. We've directed.
We have.
We did. We made it short.
Directed.
I yelled. I'm a director.
Okay.
I have a beard and I'm chubby. And it was hard enough. I can't imagine being the star and trying to get everything rolling on a full. So she did a great job.
Yeah, for this being her directorial debut.
Yeah.
For a feature length, because the short film was 12 minutes.
Yeah, the short film.
11 or 12 minutes.
Had long. A lot less moving pieces.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and only 3 locations.
Yeah.
Too.
This one had a bunch of locations or sets for sure. But so for me, this film was interesting. We're both artists as well as film enthusiasts and hobbyists or whatever you call it, and dabblers in film creation. I'm also a filmmaker. But lately I've been watching a lot of these surreal films for a project I'm going to work on, a film project. So I come here to Videodrome and I can rent like Czech New Wave stuff. Daisies was a great film. I've been watching some of the French New Wave just for the way they have small crews and move the cameras around. There's a bunch of films here, Miranda July's art film. So there's art films that you can rent here. You can't find them online. I don't know. That's one of the things about if you're just stuck at home, having a really good video store is important because you can find the films that you're not going to find on Netflix. Yeah, we get a lot of great films here. And so I've been watching all these surrealist films, and it was great to see this one in Sundance. A new emerging lady who's directing and starring and made this very colorful, vibrant dream kind of movie.
We haven't talked about the fact that it's a woman director.
Yeah.
Too, which is kind of nice because that's really rare for one, and then also to have a female
Yeah,
horror director.
It's been rare. So female horror directors. It seems like there's a new group of female directors for horror, from Babadook and Raw, the French film that was supposed to make you throw up, but I didn't throw up when I watched it.
Were you supposed to throw up?
Yeah, they said you will throw up, and we were very let down.
Oh.
It's a good film.
We've been desensitized.
Yeah, we've been desensitized. So there's a slew of these new directors coming out, and they're bringing new visions and new sensibilities to a genre that may have been a little stale and beaten to death by Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see some of this like surreal horror making a comeback now with like Color Out of Space last year. And Mandy, I'm picking low-hanging fruit because those both have Nick Cage in them.
Nick Cage.
And I've been watching a lot of Nick Cage movies.
Well, Mandy was great.
Yeah, it was great.
But if you like things with very art feel to it, maybe everything's more like a metaphor. I felt like this had like metaphors.
Yeah. This made me think of Midsummer.
Symbols.
A lot, like Ari Aster's stuff, probably just because of the
and maybe some of Lighthouse, except they had no color, and mermaids. But it was sort of like a twisted dream, like this was.
Yeah, and they all have the sort of play between like reality and otherworldly.
Yeah.
At least Hereditary did. Midsummer didn't, but I think a lot of the family trauma stuff.
Hereditary had some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, that those two movies explored. This movie kind of explores too, just like Babadook. Actually,
yeah, it's like about family trauma, loss.
Yeah.
There was a slew of those other a couple of other British films that did that too.
Allegories for it.
The Canal, I think, was one, something like that. And so it was cool. Yeah, this had all sorts of pieces of different films kind of put in together in this this like art dreamlike situation.
Yeah. There were like some literary references in it too.
To Silmarillion.
Yeah. Like just reading the Silmarillion.
Silmarillion's hard to read too.
It
is just a bunch of notes put together.
Yeah. But it also made me think of, well, people might be more familiar with it now since they made the TV show, but his Dark Materials, Philip Pullman's book, which involves going through alternate universes through portals.
But it very Alice in Wonderland-y, right? Because she jumped through the hole. They talked about rabbit hole.
Well, yeah, what's at the bottom of the rabbit hole?
Alice in Wonderland.
So you got Lewis Carroll, you got Philip Pullman, you got Tolkien.
Yeah.
You got, I ran out.
Tolkien? No. Well, but this does have an Alice in Wonderland vibe for sure, which is what Labyrinth was, right? Didn't she go down the thing?
There were goblins.
And then Pan's Labyrinth had some of that, and this has some Pan's Labyrinthy, demony. I mean, not as Muppety, but
well, they
maybe
had the
didn't have any Nazis in
fireflies.
it. Yeah, the fireflies. That's just Udo Kier. He just looks like that.
I love Udo Kier.
Yeah.
I watched Europa a few weeks ago. I had Udo Kier in it.
Yeah, he's in everything if you look.
Yeah, he is.
So this is a weird film. This is not, if you're just a standard horror fan, and your favorite horror film is something with immense amounts of gore, you're not going to like this. I don't think there was a little bit of blood, but not really. There's some drug use, but not like a Cheech and Chong film. And
That's horrific.
yeah. So this isn't your traditional horror film. This isn't your traditional anything. It's like a surreal dream that has horror elements in it. And if you like art films and you like surreal films, you like David Lynch, you like things that aren't standard Hollywood fare, you'll love this film, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is sort of along the same lines of more recent horror that's come out the last couple years. Surreal. Yeah. Art horror.
Yeah, pushing boundaries.
So, yeah, because it's not a slasher flick. It's not a monster movie. It's not body horror.
It's more psychological. So we'd like to thank Videodrome for letting us go see this film in the theater. And the Atlanta Film Society and the Plaza Theatre.
Yeah.
And Sundance Film Festival.
Everybody.
Thank you for broadcasting that.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. It was great. So thank you. Please, if you want to see more of us ramble about films or alcohol, you can look for us on our YouTube channel, Horror Skwaad, SKWAAD. And we release stuff irregularly, very regularly.
And I'm going to plug my podcast.
Oh, yeah, and a podcast. Rainey reviews films.
I review films with my sister called Movies You Missed. So that's going to be launching here soon.
Yes.
It's fine.
It's fun. I heard one. It was really good. So thank you, guys. Please come to Videodrome and rent stuff.